All right, Dungeon Masters and Curious Adventurers, today's deep dive takes us deep into the exciting world of dungeon crawl board games. I'm so glad you're here.
It's going to be epic.
Because, you've been checking out these amazing tabletop adventures. And we're using a guide ourselves.
Oh, a really cool guide.
And that's Paul Bellow's awesome article, Discover the Top 19 Best Dungeon Crawler Board Games of All Time.
And what I think is so cool about Bellow's list, it just shows how diverse this whole genre really is.
Yeah.
You can find anything from whimsical quests that are perfect for families to dark and gritty campaigns.
Right.
The ones that'll really test your courage.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But before we grab our dice and start slaying some virtual monsters, for anyone new to this, just picture this. You and your friends are transformed into these brave heroes, and you venture into dungeons.
Yes.
They're teeming with these mythical creatures. You're searching for loot, making decisions that completely change the game. That's a dungeon crawl in a nutshell.
That's it, and it's addictive.
Oh, they're so addictive.
It's that mix of strategy, right?
Yeah.
Working together and then a dash of storytelling. It makes it so captivating.
Okay, so let's unveil some of Bellow's top picks, and we're going to start with one that's tailor-made for introducing younger players to this world. Mice and Mystics.
Oh, I love this one.
You've played it.
Yeah, it's great for families. It's not intimidating dungeons. It's more like this whimsical fairy tale
Okay.
where you and your friends, you become these brave mice.
Stop it.
And you're going on these daring quests.
You had me at Courageous Mice,
Yeah.
battling like creepy crawlies, but we're adorable mice. Sign me up.
I know, it's so cute.
And Bellow, he really emphasizes that good narrative, that good story.
He's key.
So important. And he also mentions that the game mechanics are designed specifically for younger players.
Yeah.
So how does Mice and Mystics make the dungeon crawl approachable for younger players?
It's all about the way that they've designed how you do things, how you take actions in the game. So imagine you're rolling dice, and then you add those dice rolls to your character's abilities.
Okay.
Which could be anything like Super Sniff to find secret paths or Tail Whip for those battles.
I love it.
So it's simple, but it's still exciting.
It's strategic,
Exactly.
but not overly complex, which leads us to something that is strategic. Our next stop is Tiny Epic Dungeons, and the name really says it all.
It does.
They cram this massive adventure into a tiny little box.
And this one stood out to me because Bellow highlights how you can take it with you anywhere.
Yeah.
And that you can even play it by yourself. So that's perfect for people like you who are always on the go or maybe enjoy a quiet game night on their own.
Yeah.
But it's not tiny in terms of what it delivers.
Right.
It's got all that strategic depth that you expect.
He talks about how Tiny Epic Dungeons manages to capture that classic dungeon crawl feel in such a compact package.
I know, it's great.
You've still got those detailed miniatures. You've got the modular board, which keeps every game fresh.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you have that exploration, which is so key to the game.
I think that's a testament to how cleverly they designed it because they've streamlined certain parts.
Right.
But they haven't taken away from what makes the game great.
They kept the core.
Exactly.
Now, for those ready to take on a truly epic quest, Bellow recommends Gloom Haven. Think sprawling campaigns, complex storylines that change based on your choices, endless replayability.
This one's intense.
Oh, yeah.
But so good. Remember we were talking about those legacy elements in games?
Yeah.
Bellow says that Gloom Haven is a perfect example of that.
Okay, so for someone like me who's never played a legacy game, what does that mean? How does that change my experience?
So every single decision you make in the game matters.
Okay.
It could be a quest you go on. It leaves a permanent mark on the game world. So let's say in one game, you open up a new path. Or maybe you find some hidden artifact. Or you even totally change, a town changes sides because of what you did. That carries over to the next game.
Wow, that's cool.
That's legacy. Your actions have real consequences in the game world.
That's intense. It's like writing the story as you go.
Exactly.
No wonder people rave about this game. But Bellow also mentions that it's known for its complexity. Is it too overwhelming for someone like me who's just sort of, getting into these heavier board games?
Yeah, Bellow kind of hints at that.
Yeah.
And it's true. Gloomhaven is a complex game. It's got a lot of layers.
Okay.
But to be honest, that's what keeps people coming back for more.
Right.
And, the game actually does a really good job of introducing you to everything slowly. It doesn't just throw everything at you all at once.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, there are online resources, communities, people who can help you if you're feeling a little bit lost.
So it's a journey.
It's a journey. And Gloomhaven is all about embracing that journey.
I like that. Okay. From those sprawling campaigns, we're going to bet something a little bit more unpredictable. Bellow wraps up his spotlight with Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, where exploration meets suspicion, and anyone at the table could turn into a traitor.
Ooh, the who can you trust element. I love it.
Yes.
Bellow really makes Betrayal at Baldur's Gate sound suspenseful.
Yeah.
You're not just battling those monsters anymore. You're trying to figure out who your real friends are.
Right.
Are they really on your side, or are they going to backstab you?
So it's more than just reading the rule books, it's reading your friends too.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of those old school horror movies. You never know who to trust until the very end.
Exactly.
So how does Betrayal at Baldur's Gate keep things fresh?
Yeah.
I mean, someone turns into a traitor, and then what?
Well, that's where those 50 different scenarios come in.
Wow.
Bellow really emphasizes how every playthrough is different.
Okay.
And that's because each scenario has its own unique challenges and objectives.
50.
50.
Okay, so like one game you're exploring this creepy mansion, the next you're uncovering some conspiracy, like in the catacombs under the city.
Exactly.
Wow. And then there's all the different characters you can play, each with their own like special abilities and secrets.
It's amazing. You never really know what to expect in Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. So it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Right.
It's like tapping into this fear of the unknown.
Which is kind of funny because most dungeon crawls, like you said, you're all in it together, right?
Yeah.
Bellow mentions that cooperative gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge part of what makes this genre so appealing.
It's true.
So beyond just the monsters and the treasure, what else is there to love about dungeon crawls? What keeps players coming back?
It's a good question. I think, honestly, these games, they tap into something we all crave. You know, that desire to explore and to test our limits and to face the unknown, but not alone with other people.
Right.
We crave adventure, and dungeon crawls, they give us a way to experience that. They create a world full of possibilities where we get to make our own path.
It's like we're hardwired for a good quest.
Totally.
And Bellow touches on that a little bit when he talks about how important the narrative is to these games.
Yeah.
It's not just about, whether you win or you lose. It's the story that unfolds while you're playing.
It really is about the experience you share with the people you're playing with. You know, you're strategizing together, you're winning together, you're messing up together.
Oh, yeah.
And those moments, they turn into stories, and then you get to share those stories long after the game is over.
Right.
You're creating a story as you play, bit by bit.
And those stories, I feel like, become even more meaningful as your character gets stronger.
Yeah.
Bellow talks about this idea of a tangible progression in these games.
Oh, yeah, that's a big part of it.
So whether you are leveling up your character, or maybe you're getting some awesome new weapon, or even just like revealing more of the map, there's this real sense of achievement in dungeon crawls.
You're exactly right. There is just inherent satisfaction when you watch your character grow and get better and overcome these challenges. It makes you feel like you're mastering something. But it's not just about you as an individual, right? It's about the whole group getting better.
Right.
Becoming this amazing team as you go further into the dungeon.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It really does.
Okay, so we've made our way through Bellow's recommendations, uncovering these awesome games like Mice and Mystics for those family game nights.
So fun.
Tiny epic dungeons if you want something you can take with you.
Portable adventures.
And then the epic Gloom Haven if you really want to, commit to the experience.
Oh, yeah. Hundreds of hours of gameplay.
Hundreds. And then, of course, Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, where you never know who to trust.
So good.
What a lineup.
It really is a fantastic selection of games.
It is. It really shows, the range, that this genre has.
Yeah.
It's not just, one type of game. There's something for everyone.
And it makes you wonder, with all the technology we have today,
yeah.
How could dungeon crawls change? What if those physical games, became digital too?
Oh, interesting.
Imagine a game that changes as you play it in real time.
Whoa.
It would be like blending the game world with the real world.
That's wild. Yeah, the possibilities are pretty much endless when you think about it.
Totally.
Well, if you are ready to jump into some dungeons yourself after this, I highly recommend checking out Paul Bellow's full article. He has a ton of other great recommendations.
He does. There's some real gems in there.
But until then, adventurers, may your dice rolls be high.
And your adventures legendary.
See you next time.